Little spot very early on here, considering they are going towards short. Him and tabseN could be in a good spot. tabseN, however, does get removed by Oscar. And that T-side does start going, but there's the execution towards Angel, as Spitty now has to slow it down. Great connection towards Psycho, and now looking for more. Schneider's low, and this is good work from Spitty. Just crystal accuracy coming out, as now just Oscar left alive, and you can see taliesin holding back, being patient, and now looking for the punish.
Yeah, Spitty had plenty of time there to send his shots, as they were more interested in whatever was happening in CT, where HellRaisers, so that pistol will go over towards PENTA Sports here. And yeah, I did mention as well, the last time they played HellRaisers was fairly recently on dust2. HellRaisers made a meal of them in that one here. However, last time PENTA sort of played Dust in general, I think it was, oh no, HellRaisers, sorry. They played it in the Global Offensive Champions League, the Go CL, and that was a big win for them. So that was HellRaisers versus PENTA in that one, so.
Okay, but the thing is that I can never get over, after casting a couple of the EPSs, the German EPS, it's very hard to deny any German teams on dust2. It is quite the staple diet for them, so they're certainly aware of this, but whether or not they can capitalize on that fact is the next thing. It looks like Crystal's going to be the man to receive the flood of HellRaisers, and Schneider just baiting out, knife out, like, hey guys, look at me, because my team's about to go towards short.
Crystal's named his gun Arshku as well, which is Arse Cow. I don't really know what that's supposed to mean, but tabseN gets 3 there. 4 actually, as he does get the taps away on HellRaisers as they try and push up. Beautiful stuff from that man as well. Didn't even see the first one. Shame that Arse Cow wasn't the one to get the kills.
I was about to say, aren't you glad you were talking about Crystal's named gun when that happens?
Well, I have a short attention span, what can I say?
Especially when it comes to arse, apparently. Anyway, 2-0 as we move swiftly on. HellRaisers is going to go in the purchase onto that round 3. Let's see if they can build anything out of this. They've got the Galils out to play too. AK's Oscar and Schneider going to be running those, and it looks like it could be a mid to B building here. Not yet seen them commit towards it, of course, but they do only have those 2 smokes, which does kind of indicate they could go for that, but let's see if they try and get that short control, because Crystal is only waiting.
That's right, it's going to have to back off there as well, off the ledge, and it's going to be a nade to come there. Who's on A side? They do at least have a player there as well, and we are going to see Crystal try and spray them down from CT. He backs off and tabseN, the hero of last round. Is he going to do it again? He gets 3. That's 8 kills in 2 rounds from the man holding A, and he's completely taken the wind out of HellRaisers' sails as well. You can see now, of course, that they are just backed up here a little bit. There is a Molotov burning on the side, and Oscar is still on short. My God. HellRaisers have had a tough couple rounds here.
Yeah, PENTA's been stopping them in their tracks every time they've tried to look towards short. Not really doing too much to throw them out of here. Crystal playing a little further forward initially, then falling back towards the site, creating this lovely little crossfire. But Schneider going to be joining Oscar here. 40 seconds left. No flashes, no smokes, nothing to do with this one. Just going to go for those aim battles. And there is Spitty still on long, so he can kind of fall back and support Crystal. But Crystal playing very passively. Spitty trying to buy time, but Crystal is there. That's Schneider gone. And Oscar will fall. Nice work from PENTA then, picking up the first gun round, I guess. Can even pick up a rifle to boot, and a good start for tabseN here.
These Famouses are doing some serious work. And yeah, tabseN 9 kills over 3 rounds. There's pretty damn impressive stuff from him as well. Patient stuff on towards A, and I mean, HellRaisers haven't really had the equipment, I guess, to sort of deal with that kind of thing yet. Now, 4th round comes up here, and honestly, economically, they're still not even ready to buy up here. Obviously, they've spent a bit of money in the last few rounds, and geez, this is not a great position to be in if you're the HellRaisers.
No, there's still ample chance to turn this, but you can see the investment already of utility paying dividend, as already HellRaisers have to kind of remove that control towards mid. But I like this little spot from Crystal, just holding the angle towards those double doors in case Schneider fancied running out there again. But it looks like HellRaisers kind of doing the rinse and repeat. Gonna head straight over, but tabseN a little early on the flash, of course, doesn't know there's 4 players there. Is gonna start edging through. The 1 tabseN coming out, but HellRaisers gonna try and make a go of this.
Yeah, it's just tabseN there. He's been forced to rotate. He still gets 2. He is on point right now. That's 3 for the man. tabseN is flying high. And PENTA, well, they're right behind him as well. 4 rounds to none there. And tabseN there, yeah, a little bit nervous, of course, not being on the A site when there's a 4-man push from short, but so much patience, and he really held his nerve there.
He's been the individual factor that stopped them getting A. Joined in occasional touch by Crystal early on, but he has really been the main stopping force. Now the difference is that HellRaisers do have the smokes, they have the mollies, they've got the AWP in play. It's going to make it a lot harder to play how tabseN has been, but then again, let's see how he comes around this. They're going to try and double stack out on long, get some early control there. The smoke not looking optimal, but HellRaisers again, so much focus towards short, but Crystal isn't playing it. tabseN and Spitty have to fall back a little and reset, but HellRaisers getting some real early control, and Psycho going to try and get some presence out here. He just walks straight out. Flashes are coming through though, and it's making it a lot harder, but HellRaisers also splitting towards B.
Yeah, that's right. They can actually wrap around a little bit here as Schneider picks up Crystal. Bomb is a B, as you said, and it's going to be pushed on now. Tarsin will be forced to try and hold on to this one, and Angel is just going to take him down instantly. Strux now, he has to step up, and unfortunately, he was put down very quickly. It says HellRaisers all over it this time, and nice little double there for Oscar. I guess not committing too much to short has paid off.
Yeah, I actually like that fake play. It kept so many of the players dedicated towards that A site, and even the B players just didn't seem to be expecting that much presence to come through that quickly as well. That split through mid really paid off for HellRaisers, so nice to see they have some real variety in their sort of play style here. So let's see if they can do that again. It did take a fair bit of work for them, but Oscar going to be watching that cross. Doesn't get the tag, actually. Looked like he almost did there, but Strux and Tarsin remain unscathed, and we are going to be seeing, once again, Angel and Kucha getting those early nades in. No one going to be caught off by that. But it does mean that Strux's attention will be kept a second longer before he once again attends towards mid.
They're definitely going to be tested, that combination over on the B side, a little bit more if HellRaisers are feeling confident about the B side. You can see the Crystal and Spitty are pushed up towards long as well. So honestly, short isn't a terrible move here for HellRaisers at the moment if they can make a quick move of it. But Schneider is sitting back. Spitty doesn't seem like he's actually going to be pushing through here. And Strux, of course, will be setting up. And there's a smoke. Short being pushed now. Tabson is in position. It's going to be a flash from him as well. Going to buy him a few valuable seconds, but I do see, of course, the smokes coming down in response. So HellRaisers really just trying to set something up here as well. Tabson won't be able to see through that one, but there is Crystal as well. He is in a decent spot. Tabson's forced away from the Molotov fire. Can he get some taps on towards Kusha? No, the AK from the man is too strong, but Crystal responds. Now just Kusha has to push out onto short on his own for the moment as Angel and Schneider haven't quite joined him yet as well. The flick won't connect. A little bit of an off angle for the man. It's a second shot to not make it through. Crucial time being lost here. And PENTA have to sit back and play the retake, I'd say. The bomb appears to be in CT. It's fallen from short, and that's pretty annoying if you're HellRaisers.
Yeah, it really is. That's going to mean they have to commit to this. But boost back up, though. But look who's waiting. Tarsin, edging through the smoke, wants to stop him before the plant goes down, and he does just that. Strux will back up towards Kucha. And, well, that bomb being lost really was quite the devastating factor there. But once again, good play coming out towards those ace players. And I'm curious if HellRaisers is just going to switch up and have to try and negate that or go for presence on long. They haven't really been playing off the back of that, just focusing short a hell of a lot.
Yeah, I mean, that may not work out for him either, with PENTA actually committing 2 players to long consistently.
Yeah.
And HellRaisers have tested short now, I think, almost 4 times. So only one of those times really working out here. Angel this time early getting himself towards long.
Spitty's challenging on short. This is different. Spitty's pushed up. This could spell trouble. It's a 1-for-1 trade, but he gets the information instantly. Crystal is going to turn. Smoke down, Molly to follow. Tabson, eyes turn towards long. He knows the split's coming. That's perfect. It means PENTA can now focus towards short, but that's not where HellRaisers are going. They've turned tail and heading back towards long.
I'd be surprised if they actually want to. They do. They want to test Tabson here as well. That's Tarsin actually going to take Sticker's head off there. He just lingers too long in the mid. Schneider responds on towards Tabson. That's the key player down for PENTA Sports now. The bomb being left in mid, and Crystal's going to be able to pick up Schneider as he just gets a little bit too big for his boots there on long. Kusha has the bomb. Tarsin will probably just try and hold him here in mid as well. Kusha has to be very careful about how far across to the left he gets, and he's just going to back around and go for long. Tarsin should be able to meet him here, and he does.
Yeah, PENTA, this is really nice. They're reading what HellRaisers are bringing almost perfectly. Little bits of information seeping through here and there, just Spitty being a little more aggressive on short, then everyone understanding off the back of that, Crystal investing the smoke and the molly, and then instantly, I think it was Tarsin, if I'm not mistaken, it might be Tabson. Tabson, I think, went on long then, but you know, all in all, they're just reading HellRaisers very, very well at the moment. Now, don't get me wrong, HellRaisers, you know, that B play they brought out was something, you know, from the A playbook. That was a really nice B split then. And it looks like they're going to go back towards maybe just kind of rushing out mid, but Tabson is ready and waiting. He knows what's up. Oh, he just turns away.
But at least he's got that information as well, importantly enough. I did say Tarsin and Strux could be tested here, but it might be Tabson actually the first one to be contested now as mid is filled up with HellRaisers players, and Tabson is actually going to whittle them down to just 4 as Angel Falls is going to be the Glock train trying to come through here through mid, and Tabson and Crystal, they will oblige, they will mow them down. And the harvest is complete, 7-1 there as well. I mean, HellRaisers seem to, even on buy rounds actually, stack a lot in their early positioning. Remember when we saw, I think it was Spitty challenging on short on his own against, I think 4 players pushing him towards him. There was all HellRaisers players there. So they're sticking together a lot early on. They're not splitting out too much here. But yet it's still not working for them. It's a little bit of a different approach, a change of tact, as it were, here as Crystal's getting aggressive towards mid, albeit slightly.
Okay, so Crystal, a little aggressive, but has time to back away. That molly will actually go down. And Angel, you need to realize what's up here. He's kind of a little lost in that smoke. That's a really nice position molly. And a little bit of a denying smoke towards short. Going to buy a little more time for tabseN to back away. But look at the presence towards mid now come from PENTA. Crystal and Strux both focusing on this. Maybe trying to once again read into what HellRaisers are doing here. But it looks like once again they are mobilizing. Couple of flashes through, but HellRaisers really slowing things down now.
tabseN will be the man on short here. So if Sticko wants to go for any sort of push around here, he'll be meeting him very, very quickly. Now, flash on towards Sticko as well. A few flashes out from each team, and looks like he does want to go for this one here, but tabseN will be there to meet him. He takes a lot of damage, though. He does back off. He picked up Angel somehow through the fray. And Crystal now is just going to have to support. He has the AWP. Smoke's coming down.
But Spitty's fallen along. This is the first time HellRaisers have control there. This is a big difference. Crystal doesn't have anywhere safe to turn, and now Oscar's going to find him. tabseN tried to stay alive just in the off angle, but Oscar's going to catch him out too. Now PENTA on the retake here. Strux trying to speed it up. Not going to get the chance on it. Already Styko's there. Boosted up, waiting for anyone to push. Bomb does go down. And Schneider quickly dispatching off Strux. I mean, just tarseN left alone.
Yeah, that two-pronged assault working out quite nicely there as well. HellRaisers, instead of committing 4 to short, tarseN will dispatch Styko quickly. Yeah, instead of committing 3 or 4 to short, they actually pushed some through long there. Managed to, of course, take down the player there. I think it was Strux, or Spitty. Well, that's definitely worked out in their favour now. tarseN just on clean-up duty now. He's got 2 kills so far. It's going to be the flash down here in towards CT. Schneider is there. He's not in a great position. tarseN can shut down here. He's got 3 seconds. Schneider has to interrupt this one. He's going to try and jump up, but he can't find the angle. There's that defuse. Nice work by tarseN coming across from Killerfish and now killing some HellRaisers.
Outstanding play. And you know what? HellRaisers thought they were safe. They thought that was done and dusted. You could see them backing away, playing a little safe. That player along just got destroyed. I want to watch that one back. I swear to God, that was just beautiful stuff from tarseN. And you just don't expect that sort of play coming out all the time. Hello, people.
That was the replay, I think.
That's a replay of us. I want to watch that back. All right. But, like, look at this. From this position, he was able to pull it through. But we are back into the round, so maybe we can watch this one back a little later. Because that was something special. But still, this is the first time we've really seen PENTA at a deficit to begin with. But now the 3-man stack on long is being met by 4. Spitty pushing up there with tabseN. This German side is really forcing HellRaisers to play out of their mind here.
Well, they're changing things up now. They have to. HellRaisers go for something different almost every single round. But PENTA, their default setup is just they're receiving these players well. They're winning the aim battles. They're winning the 1v1s. You can't really ask much more of a team with a solid CT lineup as it is. Now with Styko and Schneider off the table, it's just those 3 players from HellRaisers now just have to put something together. Mid is a possibility here if they have the smokes for it. No presence there really at all for PENTA, actually more concerned about long and a potential push to B with Crystal now down at AWPer in mid.
So, can they weather the storm again? HellRaisers, I'd love to see them kind of commit a little more. Last time they won out here is because Oscar got the double. However, it's just tabseN on this side. Crystal's normally had his back with the AWP. He's not got that possibility. Maybe why HellRaisers fancy this a little more. There is still that player along Spitty waiting out in pit, but they are slowly but surely encroaching on the site. These 2 players going to have the drop on tabseN here.
Yep. No sound cues for tabseN at all. He has no idea what's happening here. That's the only thing that has been given away to say the HellRaisers are there. He does respond nicely, though. HellRaisers managed to creep up all the way to the bomb site, but tabseN springs into action, and he does not miss. And now it's just Angel now on shore. Bomb is just too far away to grab. There's no time. Angel will at least get an exit on towards tarseN. It's unlikely. Strux may challenge there with the USP, trying to get a little bit cheeky, but that's the round. And PENTA pick it up nicely. Well, could have gone either way, to be honest, with I think it was tabseN not having any sort of prior information about HellRaisers being there.
Can we just once again highlight tabseN here? Look at his score. Hit, observer, hit tab, please. Because he's on 21 to 6. Yep. He's looked at all the bets and he's like, your skins look delicious. So he's just going to go wild. It's like, okay, HellRaisers had a good game. Let's really mess things up for them. But still, Strux going to try and kick things off here. You can see the little jumping, trying to get the information. As once again, HellRaisers going to try and switch things up. Bomb is in the B tunnels. And HellRaisers on this real shoddy bite. Last time they did succeed in that mid to B play, and I'm kind of hoping they do that again.
Yeah, it's been a little while since they've really actually attempted for that one, though. They seem more comfortable using long.
There's 3 players at B, though.
Oh, and Strux is going to get the job done nicely. Well, tarseN even makes an aggressive peek out, and they just shut down HellRaisers completely. It's just Kucha. He might get one, but it's not going to be enough here for HellRaisers, falling to a 9-round deficit. And that was all about Strux and tarseN there. I said they'd be tested a couple times if HellRaisers wanted to go for something alternate, and they do, and they stand up to the test.
Huge performance from PENTA. This is incredible to watch. We've had 2 games in theory on paper go the wrong way, if you want to look at it like that, or certainly if you're a fan of the underdogs, having a great night, but still, 10-1, it's still, you know, if HellRaisers pick up all of the remaining rounds, it's not the end of the world. However, they need to kind of start doing that fast. Now, once again, Presence along early on. Spiddy has a great supporting flash coming out. And again, PENTA reading the play well, but Kucha this time does find Strux. Schneider has the challenge. He's going to win that out. And now it's down to Crystal, who misses the shot. This shouldn't go his way, but he does get the one. He gets the second Crystal. Insane stuff. Again, towards long. They're just not giving anything up here.
But he's going to have to hot-foot it towards A because Kucha and Styko were already here, and it is a 2v2. Tarsin has been sort of drawn across the map, but he's had to be careful about how quickly he rotates, and rightly so now as Kucha and Styko
Tarsin's got the cross.
There's not going to be enough there, unfortunately. One will be a decent amount, of course, for the man now, having to trade into that one, and Crystal will draw himself all the way around from long. The 1v1, Styko now at least gets the bomb down for HellRaisers, and that's more than they've generally been able to achieve here in these last few. Good positioning from Tarsin now. I like it when players don't make that rotate too early when they're still thinking about, you know, the other possibilities. At least got one in mid.
Oh, Styko's challenging. What on earth is he doing? And he wins it! How the hell can you do a leaping shot like that and still win out? I don't know, but he does in the end close down. And HellRaisers again, their B play seeming to work out a little better than their short and long pushes and get their second round on the board.
I mean, it's one way to cut down the possibilities of where a CT on the retake might come from. True. Is to challenge him. I guess he probably had some info as well that Crystal was already tagged up and fancied his chances, but that's a very ballsy play from him.
Yeah, really, really ballsy. But looking at this, Oscar's kind of lacking a little bit of that rifle there. But once again, out and long we go. This was a big defining factor here. The long play, Schneider and Oscar do get held up, which does allow Spiddy and Crystal to back away.
All right, Tabs now will just be holding on that corner there, and they're actually not aggressing. They're not challenging for long this time, and HellRaisers now have to sort of resort to a plan B. They were probably hoping to pick up a few kills as they sort of rushed out here. And see Schneider and Oscar still maybe asking the question of PENTA, are you going to offer us up anything on that silver platter? But not going to oblige. You can see Tabs just sitting on car very patiently here as well. PENTA making an adjustment to the way they roll out here on CT side, and so far it seems to have worked out. 3 players though, of course, for HellRaisers here, just grouped up on short. And Schneider is in pit, so they might still persist with this A, but it's about gaining information elsewhere. You can see the Strux and Spiddy have good control of CT.
See, and to me, this looks like it's going to be a slow play towards A. Oscar and Styko can kind of pressure mid a little bit, but having Schneider in pit means that you're more than able to start working towards it. It's a great addition. He can just slowly be a real nuisance here. Crystal's still looking towards short. Spiddy has caught off Oscar, so you know they're trying to sell this kind of B play, but I don't think PENTA's having any of it. They are keeping their eyes turned towards it, but Crystal there does find one, but does instantly fall. Tabson and Spiddy create the crossfire, and Schneider was just a little bit too late to the party, and he gets found in the end. Tabson turns, and again, Tabson with the 3K. This man is the MVP if I've ever seen one.
I took a real interest in
He's almost
PENTA.
got a 30 bomb on one half.
On one half. It's like Device the other night. Crazy. I've taken a real interest in PENTA actually since they reformed after failing to qualify for Cluj, and I got to see their first game in the Pro League, which is really good, and following along. And honestly, like they started off strong, almost like a honeymoon period kind of thing, and the last few results have been kind of average, but this is just excellent. But how much is it because PENTA are great, and how much is it because Tabson is just doing so much work and winning all those battles? I'll digress now as Schneider tries to push aggressively. Kusha was there with him, I think, and Tabson will be able to respond. So 1-for-1, but here's the push on towards long, and it's working out. Kusha there gets his second with a Tech 9. Crystal got to be pushing up here. I don't think he actually let that Molotov go. He actually opted to pick up the weapon, got rid of the AWP here, trying to spray on the cross. Doesn't get anything, but Spiddy at least picks up Angel.
Yeah, and it's Spiddy doing work from long. He's going to catch out too in the end, really weaken what HellRaisers have to work with. Molly towards side is going to force Oscar out of position. He has to make the move, and that's right into the eyes, or at least it was of Tarsin. Oscar, that P250 is looking a little more dangerous as we speak, and he tagged up Crystal, but not quite enough to take him down. And again, PENTA keep HellRaisers at bay.
Yeah, I mean, I sort of cut myself off there as the action started happening, but there is some serious potential here as well. The issue is, like, you have guys like Crystal as well, who have given me literally some of the biggest plays that I've ever seen. Some just ridiculous, just stupid stuff. Not always in top level matches either.
Crystal has such a high skill ceiling. I love him on the AWP. He's a really big player to watch.
But it's the consistency with which that is sort of that play is sort of applied here. He's had a fine game as well. Don't get me wrong. In fact, all of PENTA have as well. I have more faith in this lineup than any I reckon I've seen from PENTA in quite some time. This is a great game as well, but you know, what are your thoughts on HellRaisers here if we have a look at how they've been playing? Because coming off that case map looking so strong, this is, well, that looks like night and day. Oh,
it is night and day. The difference one man can make, and Spiddy's aggression is just going to pay dividend. And look at Crystal, going to catch out Schneider, and Spiddy was already predicting the player on long. That was Angel, but he didn't see him. He backs away and makes it out.
Crystal now in CT. Smoke is up there as well. So that might even have been HellRaisers almost trying to fake some sort of mid to B, or at least force Penta, maybe even to force them to push long and try some sort of flank, because they're sitting back with Angel there as well. He was playing a bit of a pivot with that scout. Oscar has an AWP, by the way, as well, so not exactly the ideal sort of setup here. There's no more smokes left as well for HellRaisers, so they just got to do it the old-fashioned way, and Crystal's going to meet Oscar as he tries to push out into mid, and that avenue of approach has definitely been denied for HellRaisers.
And even Crystal playing from kind of CT, kind of coming back towards A ramp, he's been doing just as well. He can get overwhelmed here, which is the only problem. He is still running that AWP, so it's fairly easy to. And Kucha's going to find Tabson, which removes the man on the side, but somehow Crystal snuck through. He catches out Kucha, and it's going to be an easy setup for Spitty to close it down. And Penta giving us a massive performance.
13-2 half here on dust2. I mean, you know, we talk about this being the quintessential scrum map for a lot of teams as well. Just that one that they always love to slog it out on. HellRaisers, you know, they should have a decent dust2 in their repertoire, whether it's with stand-ins or without them. But Penta are just showing us some beautiful CSGO here. I personally would just love to see this more frequently. It's probably I make no secret of the fact that I enjoy watching German CS a hell of a lot. But, you know, I'd like to see this a bit more often here. This is a good start for them. And this is them stunting HellRaisers' possible sort of charge up the ladder. And this actually might put HellRaisers in a potentially compromising situation as the season starts to wind up and they're still sitting towards the bottom of that ladder.
All right. So, this is... HellRaisers can't afford to lose this pistol round flat out. It's as simple as that. Sure, they can maybe turn the following one, but... No. This has to start now. If Penta pick this up, and I feel it's going to Glock train it somewhere, just... I worry for them in this one, and this was meant to be their chance of getting a really clean game, and you'd say, you know, against Titan or Na'Vi, they were the tough ones, but now Penta showing us what they got. It's a big play towards B. 4 players there, they're going to make for the challenge, and Tarsin's going to find Schneider. How the hell did he get that?
I'm not sure. HellRaisers now just have to hold on. Smoke is out in front. It was a very quick response from HellRaisers, actually. They boosted 2 players up, but they both dropped down, or at least one of them has as well. Now Styko is forced to just try and keep tabs on what's happening in tunnels, but he's going to gain no information by glancing in that way. It might be a longer flank for him. He shouldn't get too far away. He's just checking for the back player, potential push towards A, because HellRaisers have had to split themselves quite thinly over the map. But Penta, could them take them time here as well. They're happy to let HellRaisers think whatever the heck they want.
All right, let's see what we can do. Spitty's already waiting. As Tabson finds Angel. I don't know how they're finding these kills. They hadn't even made the pusher, and Tabson finds another. What on earth is going on here? HellRaisers have just crumbled. Yeah,
this is a very, very interesting pistol round here. Tabson is continuing to just give us such good plays here. Bomb goes down. Styko is in CT here. He will at least get Strux as a consolation, but he's got to push up. Crystal, Tabson will both be there to meet him, and that will be that. And that should really, honestly, be the game if Penta can just hold on here. I mean, I have had minimal doubts watching this game about their anti-eco ability, especially against HellRaisers in this situation. I mean, Angel with 2 kills in 16 rounds as well. That's a really telling sign from him, who in the last map was instrumental.
I really don't know what to make of this. This has just been one of those games where it's so hard to kind of play into in a way. It's Penta just individually playing well. HellRaisers not having an individual stand out, and Schneider's been that man quite consistently, but now they have to deal with a threat. Oscar shows a little bit of magic there on towards long, but here come the rifles, and here comes Tabson.
Tabson will get one there. Styko's been drawn over towards A to assist, and Schneider's on the flank here as well. So Tarsin, cleverly enough, he's actually watching that long house. He's almost expecting Schneider to push through. Styko's being pressured heavily as well on that A side, and Penta are good right now. They've got good cover. Tarsin is astutely watching behind him, and he just takes down Schneider so easily. Penta now opening things up so beautifully. And this is the same we saw last round. They got 2 early kills, and they just sat on it. They just let HellRaisers think whatever they wanted to, and then they're happy to mix it up, throw something into the pot here. Styko will be watching mid. He's only got 7 health here as well, so he really just wants to gain some information and maybe skip off to B side if he does see Penta come across the face of him. There we go. So does see that. He's not sure where they're going though, and that's the issue. And Penta are happy to keep sort of trying to put some
I don't know how much this is going to change now, though. Crystal's going to find Kuja, and it's just Angel and Styko left alive, but I assume they're both watching this cross. With 4 players, there's a gap in the smoke, so maybe that scout could get the tag there. Not going to get it. Tarsin's crossed. He's safe. Styko going to do something, but the scout's going to get ripped to pieces, and Penta move on to 15 rounds.
Well, hard to doubt them at this stage as well. You saw HellRaisers go for like a two-player sort of 5-7 aggressive push on long, hoping to get one. It doesn't really work, obviously, into that sort of stack setup. They had to sort of turn Towler run very, very quickly. One of them got caught. They tried to sort of cut them off with a flank, but Schneider was unfortunately gunned down very, very easily as well. So this is HellRaisers now with pretty much nothing. They've got the scout. They've got a few grenades as well. Styko, great opening here on towards Spitty.
Yeah, that's a little different. That's a switch up here. But look at this again. Penta just straight out on B. On A. Schneider tried to play out of B. Tarsin just meets him at the door, waves hello, and Kucha's gonna have to back up here. He looks like if Penta keep kind of, let's say, pressing the issue down long, they're gonna have a good game at this. But Oscar's creeping up behind.
Tarsin constantly lurking as well in the middle of the map, so he can create opportunities for Penta if he does actually find those shots. But here's Oscar as well. Oh my God, Strux just gets taken down as well. The second shot towards Crystal. He didn't even see the bullet coming before his head was taken off with it there, and Kusha is getting involved as well. The dig was working out very, very nicely for HellRaisers right now, and Tapson is on just 13 health. He has to back away from that nade, and Oscar actually was damaged up by the one sent in response here. 5 health for him. Angel's still healthy. 2 of them have AKs as well, so plenty to work with here. Tapson's just going to go for something. He's got 2 players, super low percentage situation to come out on top in, especially with that low health, and that's going to be HellRaisers to get their 3rd round of the match, and if I'm not mistaken, it's their 1st of this half.
Yeah, it is. Okay, so how far can this go now? This is the thing. How far can they take this? So good work there from Oscar with the double. Did make a big difference, and Styko obviously kicking things off in mid. That second, he should not have been able to get.
You gotta love a good off-angle flick with the deagle, don't you?
Oh yeah. But still, here we go. HellRaisers now have the money, they have the guns, and it's Penta who's on the back foot. So this shouldn't be as quickly over now. This should be HellRaisers starting to build back into this game, but Penta is still on match point. That's the dangerous part here, but only Tarsin running with that armor, flashed through mid, and really didn't work out very well. Oh, Schneider.
Wow, not one of those hitting. Unfortunate there. Tarsin, though, at least will present himself as a juicy morsel for Schneider to snap up. But there's Tapson as well, wants to challenge. Schneider will oblige, take him down as well. He'll make it 3. Has to go the USP for the 4th there. So Penta just using a bit of cannon fodder to try and eliminate that one player. But there's Styko on the flank, and this one should be done here. Penta, very conservative save there. It's pretty obvious to them how far ahead they are here, and we'd hate to see another NIP situation, of course, from the other night, but it was less of a deficit, I guess, for HellRaisers than it was for Titan.
Yeah, so at least HellRaisers and Schneider do...
God help me.
Yeah, you were so close.
It was the other way around, you know what I mean.
So Schneider and Angel did go down, so at least Penta did pick up a little something there as Crystal. Watching that cross, you can see the difference it can make. He's going to catch out Angel, somehow predicting that play, and the aggressiveness through his lower B tunnels might not pay off here. Already, Penta slowing down, hitting the brakes, and waiting quite far back. Strux, though, encroaching towards Kucha.
That's right. Kucha's actually going to show his back to him as he pushes through mid. This could be costly. He takes a bit of health, and the push on from Strux, he's going to net him that one now, and that was a costly mistake for Kucha now, as Schneider's forced to hold on towards mid, and he will at least inflict some damage towards Strux here. But Penta have 3 players. They can flood on towards Schneider here at the B side. It's going to be a pop flash for the man as he pushes in towards those tunnels. He doesn't even get the 1 kill. He at least puts Tarsin low, but it's not going to be enough here. Penta pulling themselves off the B side here, back in towards tunnels. Oscar was just tapping through the smoke here. They might just try to wrap with Tarsin through mid and just make sure that they can secure every possibility here. Oscar's actually pushing tunnels aggressively. Tarsin will actually be there to meet him as well, but he wasn't able to get the shot, and that makes it the 1v2 now, especially with Oscar getting his 2nd, rushing through those tunnels, and Crystal might challenge here as well. Obviously 2 angles, and there's Oscar through the smoke, actually it was. What? Yeah, it was through the smoke with the M4.
Jesus, Oscar. What a round. What a round to get the 3K on. HellRaisers living to fight another day now. Defuse did come out in the end from Styko, so Penta not being able to close it down, maybe getting a little complacent, but still, it's certainly not over yet. HellRaisers need to play the perfect game in this. You can see Oscar really bringing that big performance through for his side, literally just dragging them kicking and screaming. But still, Penta going for a little bit of a, not the biggest of force-ups, but they do have the armor there.
Highly reminiscent
to work with as well.
Highly reminiscent of their earlier force-up as well, really. Nothing too fancy here. There's no need to sort of try and extend yourself for anything too big. Schneider, though, his push up mid will actually yield some results. So HellRaisers know exactly the financial situation here for Penta, and they're going to exploit it as much as they possibly can, and hopefully not lose anyone. And Oscar will get that last kill to save Schneider. So HellRaisers now making this a little bit more of a respectable total for them. Got to keep their money flowing as well. But Penta, I mean, on the precipice here, they just need one more. Crystal might even fancy himself an AWP in this case, and plenty of utility here for Penta as well. Molotovs for all and sundry. Crystal has a little bit to spend as well. Won't go a helmet here. Might even just save that 950. Go glass cannon. Or crystal cannon.
Crystal cannon it is. All right, let's see what you got. And we are seeing Penta once again kind of taking himself throughout the map. Oscar, though, getting aggressive here. Such a dangerous time to be playing like this, but takes quite the nerve to go for this sort of play, and he might just have the shot there. Down towards those lower B tunnels, he does, and again, making the big difference off the back of those big plays.
Yeah, good stuff from Oscar there as well. Not getting too aggressive on short, just looking for the one in tunnel. And well, we knew that Tarsin as well loved to lurk around tunnel a lot for Penta and get those kills a couple rounds ago as well. He did the same thing. And here's Spitty yet to really gain entrance to long. Oscar's actually rotated sort of all the way through there from short. So that's really hot-footed it over there. And he's going to be able to pick up Spitty as well. The man is everywhere at the moment. And Penta are giving him enough time to rotate through. He's definitely getting to where the important crossroads and angles are of this map. Taps are sitting back on long, almost hoping that Oscar would actually push for it, or someone would. Penta at this stage hoping to be given an opportunity as well, but HellRaisers seem unlikely to make a mistake. Crystal expects Kusha to be here, or someone. He might even throw the smoke to draw this out. Interesting smoke there, not really sure. It doesn't cover a lot of that B ramp, to be honest. Slow and steady wins the race, so Crystal does get Angel. I think he was up in that window. Now we have 25 seconds left.
And so where are you going to take this one? Strux is trying to bait out towards shore a little bit here. The bomb is going over towards B, though. This is a fake out. Oscar keeping eyes on that. Schneider's going to put down the molly just to buy time, but Penta, I can imagine, might just go through this. They've only got 10 seconds here. They need to make a move and make it fast. And 8 seconds now. They're running out of time to make it to that bomb site. Crystal's going to find Kucha, but time is against them. They can't get the bomb plant anymore, and Schneider puts them out of their misery. And got to say, HellRaisers is starting to look a little more dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, a few rounds in the bag for them. Can't really be complaining. It's 5 in a row for them. Penta obviously soon to be receiving a little bit of that extra cash, of course, for losing those rounds here. But they would have liked to have had this one wrapped up already. HellRaisers have done well. It was almost a 16-2, and that would have been just not a good result. You look at that on paper and think, that's a fair dinkum slapping. But this time might be a little bit of a different case here as we get our lovely little HLTV lag that we often get. But taking stock here as well, Kusha looks like he wants to push towards long for a pick, but he's going to have a lot of Penta players descending on his position in a matter of moments.
Yeah, Kucha could be overwhelmed pretty easily here. The smoke on the side will at least give him some room to back away unless he fully commits to this, which could be an issue as the smoke actually dissipates.
It's quite interesting how that works here. It doesn't just stop completely. Some game aspects still persist there.
There we go. All right, we're back underway. Kucha kind of going again. Schneider's going to find 2, though, as it's just down to Tarsin and Strux. And there we go. With the smoke still in place, of course, the GoTV kind of bugging out there. It means the HellRaisers will take it to 8-15. But how long can this last, Mitch? Who knows? Oh.
I think the astute few of us probably know exactly what GoTV lag means.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyway, so Oscar and Kusha, the double AWP set up here for HellRaisers. Kusha didn't really yield too many results in that last round here, but still, it does give them a lot more control over this map here as Crystal fancied something down towards mid. But interestingly enough here, it's Oscar that's gone towards B, taps on the challenger Schneider on long, and this is going to force Kusha back again. Not the first time he's actually been forced to abort that position. Looking in towards Longhouse. Great early pick here for HellRaisers as well. Schneider, of course, a player who's been giving them some issues as well, along with Oscar in recent rounds. And Penta have managed to establish at least a small foothold on long. But this is Oscar here as well, trying to work through mid. He was at B early, and he's rotated his way across. Tarsin's still in tunnels. Still doing that lurker sort of role there, hoping to open something up. And Crystal actually looping back around to join him.
They're going for B. They took down Schneider earlier, I guess. Why not give it a try? But then again, Schneider was playing towards A, but then I guess they're trying to work out, okay, well, where's the weaker site then? Where can we exploit this?
Penta wasn't challenged in mid by an AWPer, so they figured that it would have been Oscar splitting, of course, with Kusha over A and B. So at least they knew that there was one less sort of to deal with here if they worked towards B, especially with that first pick on towards Schneider. So only Oscar and Kusha left now, just 2 men with 2 AWPs. And make it 1 now as Oscar tries to work out from that little window. And after getting taps, and it is going to be Penta to take that one away. And